Mm. Good morning, everyone. This is Jennifer Sanchez. How is everyone doing on this Monday? So, I'm just quickly making sure that we are on live and that you guys can see us well. So, if you are watching, just give us a shout out, say good morning, um, and let us know that you are here and where are you watching from because we are broadcasting on a couple of different pages. So you can find this broadcast on our YouTube channel, as well as you can find it on our Facebook business page, Women's Self Development. And you should be able to see this on my personal page, Jennifer Sanchez. So, good morning, and I am excited that it's Monday. I'm actually really excited because we have a lot of great stuff going on that we're going to talk about today, which I'm very excited about. And of course, why do we talk about this show? Well, because we have a community of women that we have a lot to talk about. For those that are new that are watching our show, prior to this, I used to always do in a Facebook group conversations called Wise Coffee Chats. And I would talk to the community of women that were in the Wise community. And now we're going to bring this to everyone. And we're going to have on guests. And we're going to have co hosts and guests and all this fun stuff. So I'm excited to have you guys today. I'm the founder of the Women's Institute of Self Development and Efficacy. We've been in existence since 2018, and we do workshops, self development, coaching, retreats, conferences, the works. We have a bunch of stuff that we do for women. We have fitness groups and running groups. So we're excited to bring all this information to you. So go ahead, Nancy, and introduce yourself to the viewers.
Hi, first of all, happy Monday, everybody. Who here struggled to get up today? I know I did. I'm going to raise my hand because I'm not going to lie. And I like to be true to myself. Jen, you're right. You spoke to me today. I always said, I'm like, I never want to be something I'm not. But anyways, I am a mother of two. My passion is information technology. I love to develop new hobbies. This weekend, I'm going to look into jewelry. So that's what I looked up. That's what I did this weekend. And I love to motivate, listen, and just be part of a team. And I hope that today we have an awesome show. I can't wait. I'm excited.
Yay! And of course, we have our special guest today. We missed her last week, but we got her this week. Yay! Rebecca, can you introduce yourself to our viewers, please?
Definitely. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Rebeca Vazquez, and I am so happy to be on with Jennifer, with Nancy. I'm getting to know these ladies. They're a wonderful group. WISE is a wonderful group. If you haven't looked into it, if you're not a part of it, think about joining, look into it. It's a great community. And so I'm just excited to be with you guys this morning.
Yes, we're excited to have you. And Rebecca, you're a new member in our actual part of our membership community. So I'm excited to have you on board with us. So for those that are watching, we actually have an exclusive membership group where we do personalized coaching and accountability calls. So this is good stuff, ladies and gentlemen, if there's gentlemen watching. Um, so, of course, you know what time it is. Right now, we're going to talk about Coffee time.
Yeah.
What is everybody drinking out there? Today I'm sticking to water because my accountability was I wasn't drinking water, so I'm gonna start with my water and have my coffee later. But I'm drinking water. What are you drinking?
Yeah, so listen to this, guys. My husband yesterday, he was like, I bet you can't stop drinking coffee. You're addicted. I'm like, I am not addicted. I can stop whenever I want, right? And he's like, well, do it. I challenge you. So this morning I woke up and I'm like, I think this week I'm not going to drink coffee. But I go into the cabinet where my coffee's at because I had to get my meds. And I'm about to take my meds and I smell the coffee. I'm like, you know what? Forget it. I don't need to prove anything. I'm going to have some coffee this morning. So while I
Right.
should be drinking more water, Nancy, I think I'm going to be drinking my coffee.
Yes. Yeah. I'll drink
No,
coffee later.
that's a
Yeah.
good that's, that's a good story, Rebecca, and I love that you
But
said I don't gotta prove anything. So I love that, right? Like we don't gotta prove
me too.
anything. Um, so this is a coffee show, right? But I'm drinking my coffee. But we always have people that love teas and water, and so I'm drinking right now actually a different brand. A Colombian brand, and I'll just be honest. I got it from Walgreens. I think it's like Mountain something. If somebody knows the brand name, and you've seen it, it's a it's there. I don't know it by heart, but it actually tastes really good because I noticed Dunkin' Donuts started doing some stuff to my stomach. Um, and I said, maybe it's too strong. I never thought of Dunkin' Donuts as a strong coffee, but I started feeling like maybe it's too strong for me. So I switched over and I've been really good. So I'm excited that I changed up a little bit right now.
Anna's teasing me. She put on there that she's drinking her Bustelo. Thank you,
Oh,
Anna.
yep, there she is. Hola, Bella, getting my Bustelo on soon. I heard the best time to drink coffee is after 9:30 p.m. You know,
Really?
That's an interesting, I know that coffee has benefits. I've never heard of that, but I can drink coffee and go straight to sleep. Like I
Yeah,
know
I
overnight.
can't. I
you
can't.
can't. It's
No.
too much. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. See,
Yeah,
and
it almost helps me go to sleep. You know, it's nice and warm and soothing, and I'm like, oh yeah, time to sleep.
nice. You know what? I mean, I guess
Anna.
maybe in Mexico, my best fondest memories of coffee is in Mexico, and I would drink it with my grandma on my father's side, and we would have it with animal crackers, right?
Mm.
It was like this thing that we did, and of course we never did it in the United States. We never did it at home, but when I would go visit my grandma in Mexico, we bring out the coffee and we bring out the animal crackers, and you're a little kid there eating your animal crackers. So I thought it's okay to drink it at night. And it was nighttime, right? So how
I did. I did a similar thing, but I did it in the morning. I used to put saltine crackers in mine, and I still do to this day. And my kids ask me, "Mom, what are you doing?" I'm like, "You're drinking coffee," and I'm like, "Leave me alone." I'm bringing back childhood memories, and then I start eating my coffee with the saltine cookies.
really? I wonder what that. I love saltine cookies. I'm gonna try it just to see what it tastes like.
Yeah, my
Um,
my sister-in-law dips saltine crackers with cheese into her coffee, and I'm like, oh, I can't do that. I cannot do that.
I'm gonna
That's different.
I'm gonna experiment. I'm gonna experiment and see. But we have Anna. She said you have to try Lavazza Italian coffee. Smooth
Mm.
stuff. Awesome. And then Anna said, "Hi, hola Nancy." So
Hola, Ana.
so we're excited. We have viewers. So um, I think, Anna just said something. In PR, we do that a lot. Crackers and coffee. There
Yeah, I'm
you
not
Mhm.
the only one.
go. There you go. So now I want to try that because I've done animal crackers, and animal crackers are a little sweet, but I've
Really,
never
yeah.
done saltine. So I'm gonna try saltine. I'll let you guys know. I'll give you guys a report next Monday and say, okay, this is what it tastes like.
Okay.
Um, so of course. We're going to have all these fun topics. We were talking about coffee. So as you're jumping on, let us know what kind of coffee or what are you drinking this morning if you're not a coffee gal. But we wanted to talk, of course, about cheerleaders. We were talking about how women can be their best cheerleaders for one another. So, Nancy, want to kick off the conversation?
Yes. So I wanted to talk about this topic because, like a lot of people, and this is in the selling business too, right? And I don't know, you guys hear me out if I'm right or wrong, but like a lot of people try to approach you in the sneaky way. You know what I mean? Like try to friend you on Facebook and, like some sort of way, like through Facebook, and we've talked about this so much, right? And it came to me because, like there's people that are trying to friend me and then I look at their page and if I see that they sell something, I don't accept their friendship because that means that they're trying to sell me something. Like if they approach me in a different manner, like, hey, I looked at your page and, it sounds like you're doing magnificent stuff. And I'm not saying that's the right manner. I mean, whatever, but in my book, it has to be truthful, right? And with friends too, it works that way too, right? Like, if I feel like some sort of fakeness or something like that, like they're trying to talk to me to sell me something, I try to like, I don't know, like I get disappointed because I'm like, okay, things come gradually, like we're like women, we see things, right? Like when a woman has nice shoes, we're like, man, I want those shoes, or those are nice shoes, and we make a comment, right? Or maybe we don't, or and things like that. But there's other subtle ways of like getting close to somebody for the right reasons, right? And the same thing with promotion. We promote other women because we see the difference that they're making. Like for example, like if you're in some kind of exercise regimen, right? If that person's not losing weight, you may not, you're not seeing the changes. So you're like, okay, well, I'm not seeing the changes. So why would you be interested in something like that, right? Or coffee, or jewelry, whatever something is, right? And like I feel that a lot of times we judge a book by its cover because we're visual. I think we women are visual. I don't know about you guys, right? And we judge by what we see, but we don't know the full story. We don't know what's behind that person. We don't know what that person has suffered, and a lot of people could use that too. Like some people have gone through traumas, when they're younger. And maybe that's why they are the way that they are now. That's how they were shaped, right? And and it all ties into last weekend's topic, what we were talking about women equality, because a lot of those kind of people don't see those traits in the people that do have that potential, right? Um, and a lot of people are like, oh no, she's too flashy. I don't, she's too talkative, is muy chismosa, she likes to talk about people, those kind of things, right? So those things build up, instead, I think that we should be focusing on the better traits that they have, right? Like, oh, she knows how to drive a crowd. This other person knows how to motivate people, right? And this person knows how to sell, right? And this person makes people feel loved, wanted, to be there, I mean, and this is for different things, not in the workforce, right? But some of these things do fit into the workforce, right? And a lot of people, think that, some of us are too outspoken. If we're too outspoken, we don't get promoted, or, we don't, because we say the truth, I guess, but it depends on how you say it, right? There's ways of tactics of saying it, just like there are of selling, right? And just basically moving ahead. But those are the kind of things. What do you guys think? I mean, I don't know. These are the things that are important to me because, a lot of people don't look at it that way. A lot of people look at results. She's always obtained those results. But how has that person obtained those results? Are they cleanly, or are they manipulatively, right? And I don't know if that's a word, but do they manipulate the data to make it look that way? And that's why they automatically get picked all the time? Or looked upon to get the promotion, or I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, before we go, I wanted to make sure I highlight Elizabeth. She said, "Good morning." We have
Morning.
Nancy F. Rivera. She says she's drinking Bustelo. And Anna is agreeing. She said, "Me too." So, and I guess this is a good conversation, right? Women being each other's cheerleaders, and in
Mhm.
the sense of, okay, whether it's workplace environment, whether, right? And it sounds like, Nancy, you're talking about workplace environment, right? If I'm not mistaken. Um, for me, and we could talk about, and Rebecca, share your input. I guess I'm a cheerleader for women, period, right? And I think a lot of people pick that up from me pretty quickly. Like, I promote you. I like to bring exposure. I know what qualities I bring to the table. And I know that if I see a rock star and, you come around the community, I'm going to highlight you and put you out there and give you exposure to the community, right? Example, Rebecca, right? You are a rock star. I've known you for 3 years. You have an insurance agency. You just joined the WISE community. I know you're a you lead a church with your husband, so you co-pastor with your husband. Like,
Mhm.
these are things that we need to, like, give you exposure for. You're doing things, great things in the little village community, right? So why not?
But I think maybe Nancy, tell me if I'm wrong, but maybe it's sometimes we're valuing, you're talking about maybe focusing on valuing people for who they are and not necessarily for the results or for maybe, she did a great sales presentation, which is good, that's great. But like you were mentioning, how are they getting to that result? And so maybe not just looking at people's results, but also looking at their hearts or maybe looking at who they are as people, because that could then change even if they did, $10,000 worth of sales this month, but were they ethical about it, or they did they go, were they pushy, aggressive, and that, or how did they get to that result? And so maybe we also have to consider valuing people for who they are, because maybe you didn't make $10,000 worth of sale, but you're still of value. I'm still going to cheer you on, like Jennifer said. I'm going to cheer you
Mhm.
on for anything good, because as women, sometimes we don't get that feedback. Like, you are, like I always say, the Bible has taught me I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. So who I am as a person just makes me valuable because God made me and I'm here on this earth. And so maybe we cheer people on, or our women friends, because of both things. Did you do it the right way? Great. You got $10,000 of sales. That's awesome. But maybe you didn't, and I'm going to cheer you on for just being a good friend, or being a hard worker.
Yeah.
So
Yep, yep. And I don't know, Nancy, I think to go with even what you brought up, like, I promote people regardless before I even know their personality. Like, I'll still promote you.
Mhm.
Because, right, in the world of media and, radio, like, I could have a conversation with you for a little bit and kind of pick your brain and feel you out and see if you're the right person for the community. And of course, mind you, I gotta be mindful of, like, do I want to put you on a stage? Because I also put events together, right? Or do I want to put you on a radio? Do I want to put you, where would you best fit based off the conversation? And Nancy, you have great skills about you, Nancy. And I personally have known you for what now, Nancy? Maybe 2 years now? But,
Mhm.
like,
Like 2 years.
we know each other very deeply. Like, I know a lot of personal things about you. I've worked with you, I've coached you, you've taken the coaching program. So I've seen you blossom in a lot of ways. So I think, if I wouldn't, how did you even meet me, Nancy? I have no clue. Did we meet on social media?
Yeah. I think, you know what? I was looking for like something to be, to do, like, I didn't know what else to do, and I don't know if about these women out there who are listening, but, I was like telling God, like, what should I do? Like, I feel like stuck. I feel like I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what to spend my time on. I mean, and I should, right? Like, I should know, but, like, I wanted to spend time with friends that had the same values that I had and that had the accountability that I had and probably better than mine, right? Because you always want to be better, and you want to learn from those people that are doing well. And just because, I'm always a person where like I want to be better every day just as a person. And I don't want to be better than anybody. Let me make that clear. I just want to be a better person. And you know what I just discovered, and I think it was after this third cohort when I was in the coaching program where I was looking for the wrong thing. To me, I know that inner peace is the success that I'm looking for, not
Mm,
so much the success in my life. And if it
mhm,
comes perfect and good and dandy, but I figured it out that it was better to have that peace in myself and just continue from there. And if things blossom from there, perfect and cool and dandy. Because, if you don't have some kind of peace and if you're always on the run, if you're always worrying about something in your life, worries are always going to be there. It's just how you
yeah,
handle them and how you accept them and take them. And it's not going to help me if I'm worrying that my son had to get to school today and I wanted to be on this show today, right? And so, I asked for help and, so I got that. And, so those little things and I'm like, oh, shoot, but, I was like, okay, I got this. I'm like, I'm okay. So
yeah,
those kind of things, you know what I mean? And different people measure success in different things. And I think I was looking at other successful people and I was like, I need to be like that and I can't. And when I couldn't attain it, that was depressing me and getting me in a funk. And, and I'm like, why can't I be like Jennifer? Why can't I be like Rebecca? Right. And, those are not my goals anymore. My goals are inner peace. If I'm sad or mad or those kind of things, how do I get out of that and move on, and be
yeah.
happy and embrace every single thing that comes my way.
And I
Yeah.
think you make a really good point, Nancy, because success can be measured in multiple ways. And sometimes we do, as especially probably as women, we compare ourselves to that next person. And they've said this so many times, like social media, it's a blessing, but it's also like that fine line of the curse because we see everybody's awesome pictures and awesome uh accomplishments, but sometimes that makes us feel like, hey, what am I doing? Where am I? And I think that's where, like what you said, Jennifer, is so important that we cheer each other on no matter what, right?
Yeah.
Because success can be defined in many different ways. And like you said, Nancy, for you, it's inner peace. And so we need to cheer you on for that because a lot of people don't have that. And for you to come to that conclusion, that's awesome. And then for others, maybe they haven't gotten that piece, or maybe they're looking for something else. But whatever it is, that we would be able to support one another and just be happy for one another.
Yeah, I love that, Rebecca. Thank you for sharing that because the one thing
Awesome.
about Nancy, and I could share, she's on the ball. She will, you tell her, she will run like with it. Like, and not only that, she's so accountable to her own goals. She says something, she does
Mhm.
it. Like, and
Mhm.
the integrity that she has, I appreciate the integrity because I'm like, yes, Nancy is the one person that I don't got to worry about. She got it. She has it in the bag.
She
But
said it, she'll do it.
exactly.
Uh-huh.
Nancy said intentions are a good measurement. I just want to share these comments.
Yes. Yes.
Um, Very unfortunate that others don't cheer you on because of envy. I love pointing out my
Yes.
staff's strength. It's a great motivator to continue and give more. Absolutely, Anna. She even put a emoji, a yes emoji. We have Adeline saying good morning. We also have Andrea Espinosa saying good morning, and she said
Morning.
hello, Pastor Rebecca.
Hi,
Yeah.
Andrea.
Uh, So, and then we have Anna said, comparing is a killer. The word tells us not to focus on that, but focus on yourself. And it's true, right? And I think the moment we stop focusing on everyone else, and Pastor Rebecca, do you want me to call you Pastor
Yeah,
Rebecca?
just call me Rebecca.
Okay, I just saw Pastor Rebecca, so I was like, maybe I should call her Pastor Rebecca. Okay, Rebecca. If we sit there and compare ourselves, it's going to make us feel bad, and social media is a great place. If you're not mindful, you can feel bad and compare yourself to other women and find yourself envying other women or getting jealous of other women, like, oh, I wish I had that life, oh, I wish I did that travel, or I wish I did this, I wish I did that. But and one thing that we like to talk about in our community is, you have your own boat, you have your own journey, you have your own
Mhm.
competition, right? Like, like swimmers, right? When we swim, you're not looking at the woman to the right of you, you're not looking at the woman to the left of you, you're looking at your clock and your time. So if at that sprint it took you 2 minutes and 34 seconds, you will hope that the next sprint it took you 2 minutes and 25 seconds, right? You're working against your own time. And
Mhm.
I like to bring that messaging into the community, because it's like, if we sit here looking at everyone else, it's gonna tarnish all, it's going to distract us from the beautiful things we can create and do, because we're only focused on fulana or juana or anita, right? Like, we're looking at everybody else besides our own work. um and I just want to share this one point before we go into the next topic. My daughter was struggling a little bit with that, right? Like, um and I have three daughters, and I would like praise one, and then the other one felt mediocre. She felt bad because I wasn't praising her. And I said, why is me praising one making you feel inadequate? Now let's look at this. You should be happy that I'm praising her, right? Because
Mhm.
I praise you all the time as well. So it's something that it's taught to us even as a little girl, as little kids. So if we're mamas, we got to cut that quick, right?
Mhm.
I know we're all moms here. So
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and you say a good point, because even if I encourage one person, that doesn't demean the next person or belittle the next person. But do we find enough strength in ourselves to be confident in who we are and in the value of who we are,
Mhm.
so that I can, rejoice with the praise somebody else is given in their due moment, understanding that that doesn't change what value I bring as well. But that's hard. That's hard.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes, yes. I had one sister. She recommended me to do a Pinterest board for my daughter, and just put all the beautiful things that look like her, because she's Latina and she's always looked at the right. We look at Caucasian beauty standards all the time in media. So she gave me an idea that she does that for her daughter with, beautiful African American hair, beautiful African American young girls. So I said, I'm going to do one for my daughter. I started doing like Latina brown skin beauty or something like that. I wrote it, and I just started putting all these pictures of beautiful Latinas, young girls, young, like, similar to her, so she understands that she's beautiful in her own skin. So
Mhm.
just something I wanted to share. So this goes actually very well with our next topic. Do you know your value, right?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So thank you, Nancy, because Nancy is good at putting together these topics for us to conversate about. So, if we're talking about, Rebecca, like you said, how confident are you? Do you value yourself, right?
Mhm.
That's a big deal when it comes to being someone else's cheerleader, right? Uh,
Yeah.
so I know that Nancy did all this research on how can we measure how we value ourselves, would be where I would start, Nancy. Like, what would you go with? How would you answer that for the viewers? Like, how can you know you're valuing yourself well?
Well, when I did this topic, I just thought, well, I value myself and I care about me. I mean, I know that I like to keep development, right? So I like to keep learning, new things. It's not just about just what I know, but because I'm in the information technology, I need to be learning new things. And not only just in IT, I think self development too, because I deal with people, and because I like to be real. Even at work, a lot of people would prefer to deal with me, and then they tell me I prefer to deal with you because you're much nicer, and because you know how to approach things and those things of that matter, right? But and I thought it was only just schooling and self development, and obviously how I feel about me because I'm a single mom, right? And I had been for 10 years until recently, right? And I'm going to tell you this quick story. And Rochelle, if you're out there and looking and watching this, I hope you are. She asked me yesterday, she's like, well, I heard you're dating, and how's your job? And, and things like that. And she was asking me about me, and, about dating, those 10 years I took, it was a long time for me to start dating again. But, like I wanted to give myself that time. That was maybe probably too much time. But, for me, like I used this time to like do things I wanted to do, uh, just, just see what's out there, and just, hear the stories of other people. And, and I was like, at one point I was like, well, if it happens, it happens. And when people would tell me, well, not today, I'm like, not today. And, and Valentine's came across, and, I just want to tell you the quick story on why I'm going to go into these points. But, it took a while, and I'm okay with it. Like I shouldn't have probably wasted 10 years, but, it is what it is. And I'm not going to go
Nancy,
back
it's
on that, right?
it's your time, sweetie. Like you don't got apologize. If it needed 10 years, if it needed 20 years, it does not matter.
But like
Exactly.
for those people, thank you. For those people, that ask me like, oh, so now you're dating, and like, things like that, it could happen. So for those people that are single out there, I'm giving you these tips so that you don't have to wait 10 years, or, like the things to value, right? And but there I found out that there's at least 62 um topics or ways to value yourself, and some of them that were in here I didn't really like think about, and I'm gonna start naming them real quick. And and let me know if you chime in, if you guys want to comment on any of the ones. But one of them was certainty, stability and productivity in your life. Like, are you stable? Like, are you mentally stable, right? Are you money stable? Like people focus on different things again,
Ooh,
right?
money
Mhm.
stable. That's a good one, Rebecca. I'm sure you can talk about that one.
Too much. So we'll let Nancy keep going.
Right,
So
right.
control, right? How do you control a situation? Are you okay with being like mad all the time, or, upset or scared? Those type of deals,
Yeah.
know what to do, right? Security, being free from danger and control. Peace, calm, freedom, and conflict. Chime in if you guys want to comment on any of the ones I'm going to name, right? But like I
Mm.
myself was like, wow, I never like thought about these things because I do it automatically, right, in my mind.
Yeah.
Health, well-being, and fitness, right? We're big on that, right?
Yeah.
I know I am now, specifically now, because I want to be healthy and fit, and it takes time. And it's not a overnight thing. I mean, at one point I was 209, and now I'm at 150. I'm still working on it, right? But I'm not trying to be 120 from yesterday to today, and starving myself. There's methods and ways, right? So valuing yourself, in that method too. So consider some of these things, right? Think about them, and maybe that'll give you a change of thought process. Discipline, right? Obedience and self control, right? And things that you do, right?
Mm.
Spending money, or like I know some of us go drinking, right? And some of us, can we control that? Can we control our money spending? Can we control our anger, right? Those kind of things.
Yeah.
Job security, right? Not worrying about losing your job. Do we worry about it? Some of us don't. We just go to work, right? And or some of us are like, well, I like my job, and if I'm here today, tomorrow, and if I'm not here tomorrow, I'm somewhere else another day or someplace else, right? And it's easy, and some of us it's harder, and things like that to consider, right?
Well, and I
Wealth
think
and money.
that's a really good one to think about right now because of the pandemic, and so many people, have that fear of losing their job. But But when we can value ourselves and know that, I saw a couple of people post on LinkedIn, like it's gonna be okay because I do have skills that are valuable, because I am a good worker, because I am determined, because I have some value within that. Maybe this organization, maybe it was just my time, to close that door. Another one will open, the right one will open. I'm just going to keep that faith that that's going to be, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And I think for the times that we're living in, that's going to be so important for all of us just to keep in mind.
Yeah, I actually wanted to share some of the comments real quick. Mary said that happened between my daughter and niece. I'm assuming the comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Angelica Angel said, "Where are your boundaries?" I think that shows how you value yourself, which
Mhm.
that is definitely one. She said it's not a waste. It was time for you, Nancy.
Yeah.
Um, time is not wasted when you find the right person. You become the person you are supposed to be for each other, Mary said. Yamila said, "Good morning, ladies. Just logged on. Let us know what you're drinking, you guys. It is the coffee chat." So we want to drink coffee or tea or water
For
together.
water. Mhm.
Yamila said, "Good morning." Oh, and they're replying to one another. They're having conversations now. So I think this is all great. Um, I think even those are great measurers, right? Like, do,
Yeah.
do you indulge, right? Do you overeat? Do you overspend? Do you have self discipline? Like, a
Mhm.
discipline's a big one, right? Like, especially even we can go into our next topic with the goals, because I think we want to talk about that too. But being disciplined, like if you know your value and you know that, like Rebecca, you mentioned you with your employer, right? You know your value, you know what skill set you bring to the table. You're not gonna get rocky or shaky when you're worried about job loss. And yes, I mean, it is scary, especially maybe if you're a single mom, or maybe
Mhm.
it might be a little different, right? But you know that you'll get on your feet very quickly, right? You have that skill set that is very valuable. So I love that as something to know your value. But discipline, I thought when you said that, Nancy, I was like, I think if we can master being disciplined, we can master so much in our lives.
Yeah,
And
I was listening to somebody the other day, and very successful person, but he's like, I'm not anybody special. It just takes consistency, right? Like discipline, like choose your goal. And you were talking, the first one you mentioned, Nancy, about value was certainty. Not second guessing ourselves. I think, like we were saying, sometimes we look at other women's pages or social media, we'll compare, like, oh, maybe I should be doing that. Oh, no, maybe I should be doing that. And it's like, no, let's be true to ourselves. Let's choose what we feel is important to us and move towards that with discipline, with consistency. And sooner or later, we're going to flourish into the fullness of what we are meant to be, why God put us here on earth.
Yeah.
And that's valuable because we each have something important to give. Now we just have to apply that in my mind, right?
yeah, and be
Right.
It's
disciplined.
easier said than done, but we can keep encouraging each other towards that.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a good tip. And then, I mean, even this discipline, we can get into the best tips to get your goals done,
Yes.
right? Nancy, I think that, and you can keep sharing all the stuff you found when it comes to the value, but I think even if we value ourselves, our goals will get done, right? Like you said, drinking, Nancy, right? There's people that enjoy party, the fiesta life,
Mm-hmm.
right? But if you are really focused on getting a goal done, or you're going to school and you're going for that master's or that PhD, PhD, I would assume that that is not a priority, right? You can't party hardy. I mean, maybe you could, but you have to be to some level of discipline, right? You can't do that. You have to study. You have to do well in your exams. You have to sleep, get a good night's sleep, so that you can be able to remember everything that you're studying.
I
Um,
mean, people think you're saying discipline, Jennifer, and you made me think about people think that that's like a bad word, right? Like, oh, or that's boring, or it's not fun to be disciplined. But if we can keep our goal in mind, like if do you really want to get your master's? Okay, well then you need a little bit more, focus, more discipline, so we can reach our goals. Because then when we get to our goal, then we can maybe party hardy.
Mhm. Right.
exactly. Good point. Good point. I was told, I remember by one of my college professors, that going to college does not mean you're smart. Going to college means you're disciplined.
Mm,
And I remember that makes total sense because you have a lot of very intelligent people that do not have degrees, right? Steve Jobs. Well, you can think of all these, the founder of Facebook, right? They don't have college degrees. They dropped out. That doesn't mean we're not valuing education. We value education, but it doesn't mean that it makes you smart. It makes you disciplined for
mm,
sure. The discipline of studying. Even Nancy, you're a Zumba hit instructor, right? The discipline of working out, of being consistent, of keeping your body right, of eating the right foods. You talked about that. I think these are great key points to talk about when it comes to valuing ourselves and getting our goals done, getting those things done. Um, so I don't know if you guys want to chime into and talk about goals more so, like, what are the best tips to get goals, and what would be your best tip, Nancy, to share how you get things done? Because you're definitely good at that.
Oh, thank you, Jennifer. So before I go on to that, I would just want to say that, a lot of people out there that think that, they don't have value. After reading this whole list, I'm like, oh, wow. I didn't consider all those things as value. And, maybe, if you're in that funk or you're that in that role where you can't complete a goal, I'm going to start off so I can lead into the goals. Maybe you need to read into like how many topics could I fit into with me being a valuable person, and the things I'm not looking at that I am valuable in, and maybe I am valuable and I wasn't thinking about all those things, and now I need to brush up on the other things that I just read or know about my value and the things that I want to do. So which leads me to how to accomplish a goal, right? So the first thing is belief, right? Belief in yourself that you can do something. A lot of people are like,
mm,
oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. Oh, yes, you can. Like if you're talking about it that you can't do it, then yes, you can. You can. Just the point is believing and wanting, right? That you want something. Like you want to lose weight, right? You want that dream job. You want to obtain that degree. You want to be in wise, because you want to be social and you want to meet other women and get other viewpoints and read a book, and maybe wise motivates you, right? Or gives you that discipline that you need to start off that goal, right? Or just things like that. Just talk to people. So that would be my first tip. I'm going to share two more. Visualize, right? You want to visualize, like, I'm going to be here in a certain time, right? Not just be like one day, maybe. No, those are not words. No, not one day, maybe. I will be here in 2 or 3 years. Set yourself an accountable, you're not going to be there tomorrow, right? It doesn't work that way. And maybe it will, right? But you have to visualize and say that you will be there at that one point. And then purpose, right? You have to have a purpose. There's a purpose why you want to do this, because you feel excited. I always tell people, when younger people, when they come to me, like, what should I do for school? Or, I'm going to be a lawyer because they make so much money. And I'm like, okay,
mm,
that's fine. Like I've been in the legal world. So yeah, that's nice. But you also have to consider that you like doing all those things that are involved with being a lawyer. Like,
mm,
time, yes, they do make money, but, like there's a lot of stress, and I'm not discouraging any other people that want to be a lawyer. I'm just saying that you have to enjoy doing all those things and having discipline to do all those things, to have that means and to have that accountability and goal. Because if you don't like to do it and you're just doing it for the money, it's not going to work out. Not going to.
Yeah, I think that that last point's really nice, Nancy, because when we're thinking of our goals, when we get maybe tired because we've had so much discipline, we're studying every day or we're working out every day, but then we get a little tired, we get, in a funk, like you said. Our why, our purpose is going to help us come out of that and kind of push us forward. And
Mhm.
so that why is going to be really important as we think about our goals because it will help us. I know that's something I always try and look at as I look at my goals. Why am I doing it? Like, why am I doing it? Because I know inside of me, if I have the heart to do it, then, it's going to help me as I try and accomplish that.
Right.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
agree.
That's good. So we have some comments, right? Adeline said, I need to grow in discipline. Yamala said, yes, consistency is key. I was just telling my husband that I need to be more consistent in the business. It shows that you are serious and someone that a person can count on. Mary said, yes, Rebecca, she was agreeing with you. And Angel wants the list. If you can share the list, the articles that we based this conversation on, Nancy, that would be great. And of course, Angelica shared vision boards. We love vision boards. And what's your why? Yes, right. So this is all great content that we're talking about, and I love the points, Nancy, that you said because it's a lot that we believe, right? We believe in vision, persistence, discipline, right? If you can say it, you can do it, right? Right. Um, you have women that let's say they continue to get education and they're senior citizens already, right? Like right, there's no, I mean, if maybe you couldn't do it in your younger years, you sure can't do it in your older years, right? Like, why not, and yes, I remember going to a training years ago that younger people have fattier brains, and that's why you go to school and get all the education at a younger age because your brain is fat and it could absorb knowledge quicker, right? And keep knowledge versus once you get older, and I think it's past the age of 27, I think it was, or 25, then your brain changes and it's not as fatty as when you were once younger. I guess maybe that's where that word fathead comes from. When people say, um, fathead or fat brain or something like that, people say. And that's, but it's not impossible. People still get degrees way after that, right? I mean, it's up to the person if they really want it, if that's their heart's desire. So, Nancy, I think you brought some great points to the conversation, and hopefully, the women that are here take something away from this conversation and it encourages them and they get their ICM, right? Their inspiration, conversation, and motivation. So if you guys don't know what that means when I write it, that's what it means.
Yeah.
um, so any final thoughts? And of course, I want to make sure that I address one more thing. But any final thoughts in regards to goal setting or the valuing ourselves before we close that conversation?
Well, the reason I bring all these topics is because, like I want to share these things, because I see a lot of, confrontation and, like people thinking that they can't do something. And then last night, somebody reached out to me and, probably thinking like, how did I obtain? And I'm like, and the reason probably I obtained some of those things is because I figured out what my success was. My success is inner peace. And because of that, I think I've flourished even more than I was before because I'm not worrying about those things that I want to become a successful lawyer or something like that. Probably a successful IT person, but all in its time, at my time, but using that inner peace. And through obtaining of the goals and visualizing, right? And the things that we mentioned about the goal building. And, I learned something too with, the value. I never looked at my value in that sense, but now that I know that there's 62, at least 62, right? There could probably be more ways that you can value yourself or measure yourself. I mean, that was just mind blowing. I was like, wow. I was like reading this, and I mean, I will post. I know Angel posted something that she wants to list where I got all this, but it explains everything. Like what these things mean, and to put value to yourself. You're probably worth $1 million and you didn't even know it, and after this show, you will. So, I hope that, these conversations sparked something in the viewers out there and the people that are watching on replay. And, I look forward to next Monday, and I hope that everybody has a beautiful and spectacular week. And I look forward to next Monday.
Thank you, Rebecca. Any final thoughts on what we were discussing that you wanted to share?
Nancy just like recapped it so nicely. So thank you for that. I don't think I have anything necessarily to add to that, but kind of just to say as a reminder, I think we're talking about our goals and something that is helpful to reach our goals. And I say this right here. I'm recently coming into that understanding how important it is for us to have each other, especially as women, because it's so helpful. It's so to encourage one another, to be excited for one another. And so just this, right here. So I commend you guys for having this show, this platform, and everybody who's listening. And this community is just beautiful in that respect. So, yeah.
Oh, thank you. And we're excited to have you part of the community as well. So this is going to be good stuff. And I think I want to add on accountability, right?
Mhm.
Accountability is, I keep talking about it. I will never stop talking about it, right? That is the one thing that people will pay thousands of dollars for accountability, right? And if you are not held accountable to goals, they will, let's be honest, they might not get done, right? Um, you want to open up that. There's a reason why coaches pay, or people pay coaches money because they want things done, or they become part of these accountability groups or masterminds because they want to get things done. Because sometimes, hey, writing that book doesn't happen, overnight, like Nancy, you said. But when you're being held accountable, someone's on you about, did you get that done? Are you setting these goals? That is going to be a big factor if we get things done. I mean, if it wasn't for accountability, I at the way that I move, accountability helps me move at the speed that I go, at the age that I am. I started accountability in college, right? Goal setting in college, and from there it was just like an avalanche. I would say, right? For me, that's how I see it. It's a snowball, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So I appreciate both of you ladies and everyone else that's watching right now with us, and sharing their comments. Mary, Angel, and then Mary said, "But the brain is a muscle too. You have to use it." Of course, we have to use our brains, right? So
Anna and Andrea.
yeah, everyone that's joining us.
Yamalat.
Thank you, ladies, for watching. And then, of course, we want to make sure that, we recognize that 9/11, and I wanted to make sure be respectful of 9/11, and we honor those that have been fallen from 9/11. I know that it's been 3 days, but I think because of, just it's so recent, it's been, almost 20 years, right? I mean, gosh, how long has it been, right?
Yeah.
Um, it's still something that's still so real to so many people right now, that have lost a loved one, or even the first responders that went there and sacrificed their lives. And I want to acknowledge first responders, right? And give them credit where credit is due. We are not trained to run into fires. We are not trained to run into danger, but they are. They're the first ones that will run into. So 9/11 should be a moment also where we recognize the fact that first responders, they are put in place for a reason. Yes, there's a lot of things going on right now in society. There's a lot of tension, but at the end of the day, there's still really good people that serve in blue and firemen. There's still a lot of good. We have family members that wear that uniform that we know are good people, right? So we want to make sure that we still acknowledge and give respect to this. I know it was a horrific situation, but definitely still bring attention, and 19 years, Mary said. Thank you, Mary. Still bring awareness and still acknowledge those that have lost a loved one during this tragic day. So, thank you, everyone, for being with us this morning. And then finally, I want to make sure that I mentioned Retreat 2020 is coming. So, Retreat 2020. And I will share this in my WISE community, more details of how we're protecting people through COVID, because I know everyone's a little worried about COVID, COVID, COVID. Yes, we are in a pandemic. Yes, but there's a lot of women that say, Jennifer, I need a retreat. And I said, okay, let's make this happen. How can we make this happen and still protect the community that's attending? And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at how we're going to be handling it this year. So if you have not signed up, this is the last week to sign up for the retreat. And it's in Michigan, Whitehall, Michigan. It's a beautiful space. We'll have the beach, we'll have sand, we'll have aqua fitness, but I always say we will hold the space for you to work on yourself. Okay. Many times we don't give ourselves this time. We don't give ourselves a time to, let's be real. Do you sit there and say, I'm going to work on my 5-year plan? Like, I'm going to work on what I want for my life to happen. We really don't do that. Our lives are so on the go. It's so with the kids. It's making dinner. So when I say we hold the spaces, we're making a space for you to work on yourself. So the retreat is you retreat, you back away, you get away, and you focus on yourself, because this opportunity doesn't happen every day. People don't have the time to make plans for their lives, and this is where we do that. We create the space for you. So I hope that people sign up to the retreat. If you have not, reach out to me if you want to learn more about the retreat. But it's going to be a very physical, and the goal is to break barriers and power you up, right? That's why it's called Power Her Moves. Let's break limitations and let's get what we need to get. We're always about, let's go get to that next level. So that's really a big focus on the retreat. So thank you again so much, ladies. Those are just some quick announcements. I appreciate you again. I appreciate the viewers. You guys have an amazing week, and be confident and take over the world.
Thanks,
Have a nice week,
Jennifer.
guys.
Thanks, Nancy. Have a great day.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Thanks.
Talk to you
Bye.
later. Bye.
Bye.